Well, in rare fashion here, I got my little bell. I don't know if you can see my camera here. I didn't, kind of underwhelming. But, so welcome to July 9th, 2020, Rotary Club of Newport, again via Zoom, and welcome everybody. And Misty Lambrick is our program and our honored guest and also fellow Rotarian. Who would like to start us off the pledge or a song? And what I'd like to do is try and change it up a little bit. Let's just do one person, and then that way we won't get 29 speaking parts there. Let's try that. Any volunteers there first? Mary Kay, it looks like you were volunteering.
Me, let me do it.
Oh, hey, thank you. Okay, pledge or song?
Pledge, trust me, especially if I'm doing it by myself.
All right, all right.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent job, excellent job. We'll give that a shot. We'll try that at the end as well with the four-way test, so we'll see how that goes. And it's fun to hear everybody's voices, but sound a little chaotic sometimes. So let's also try this. So welcome everybody. Let's just give a nice virtual wave, everybody. Hey, welcome. And again, introduction, Rotarians. So we have Misty Lambrick. Now, Misty, do you go by Misty Dawn or Misty Dawn Lambrick? What do you prefer?
Just Misty.
Misty, okay.
Unless I'm trying to hide from something, and then it's Misty Dawn and no last name.
Okay, I kind of picked up on that as I was doing a little research. So I knew that you were recently or previously the E-Club of Jefferson. So now I hear you're now a Toledo Rotarian. Welcome to that, fantastic. So as the Misty is owner of Webfoot Design and Marketing, Misty provides hosting and design and coaches for folks in businesses, nonprofits, large and small, enjoys making sure your digital footprint is what you want it to be. And so if you have questions, be sure to circle back with her afterwards. She will certainly answer questions. She's a local. She's been, now I don't remember or know for sure if you're still teaching at the community college, but I know you've done that for many years. And the fact that's how I met you. We had one of our programs where we had kids come out, and it was like I can't remember the name of it. It was like a career, and Linda Kilbride used to host that and start that, but we'd bring kids out there and you would help them with their Facebook and LinkedIn presence and those profiles, and that was wonderful. So I remembered a lot of what you did there. So again, welcome Misty, and thank you. And so now first off, we're gonna start with Rotary moment, and I kind of have somebody already in line, but I have Diane Nelson that wants to share a Rotary moment with us. So go ahead, Diane.
Thank you, Richard. Richard's daughter, Daisy, is a 4-H'er, and her project this year, she raised a few animals. She raised a turkey, a lamb, and a whole bunch of other animals. And she's so cute. She actually takes them on walks, and she has a name for them. Because of COVID, the 4-H'ers were not able to auction off their organically fed and raised farm animals. And Keith and I decided that we would like to buy Daisy's turkey. And coincidentally, her turkey's name is Tom. We purchased it, and it was so much fun for me personally, because I didn't grow up on a farm, to work with Daisy through the value chain. The purchasing of the turkey, the butchering of the turkey, and the shipment process of Tom. Tom, suffice it to say, Tom is now cut up in pieces and stored in our freezer for consumption. Thank you, Daisy, for educating me and to learn about the 4-H Club. Thanks, Richard.
You bet, you bet. I didn't know, I knew that you wanted to have a Rotary moment, and I didn't know that you were gonna highlight my daughter. Today was actually the day for the other animals. So this morning, regardless to say, is very somber morning here at the O'Hearn House. So we had to take a couple of the other animals in. So it's difficult, but it's as the butcher said, it's a life lesson, but we'll get past that.
Hey, Richard,
Yes,
we have one more guest.
excellent.
In fact, you introduced her to us. Connie Battles from Walport has joined us.
Oh, excellent.
She moved from Crescent City about four years. Just recently moved to Walport a few months ago from Crescent City, and she was a Rotarian there. So she has joined us.
Excellent. Welcome, Connie. Sure glad to see you. And there you are. There you are. I know that you expressed interest if there was service projects and, or different things you would be interested in. And I think that we'll get a little report from Amy. I know she's got a project that she's working on. So welcome, and definitely interested in have you participate, or, whatever way you want to. And then again, if you're looking for membership, I know we just had a change in our membership chair. So I'm right off at the moment. I'm not exactly sure who it is. It was Diane. So if nothing else, she could definitely help you figure that out and navigate that. But Connie, is there anything you'd like to say real quick to the group?
I'll unmute her.
Well, she finds the unmute button, Rich. I also have a community service page to go over some of the projects we talked about at the board meeting.
You bet. We'll give you just...
Richard, the Membership Matters chair is now Laura Kimberly.
Oh, perfect. Perfect, Laura. All right, Connie, now we see you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you very much for inviting me to your video conference call today. And I love Rotary. My husband is still a member of the Rotary Club down in Del Norte County. And we've been very active with, handing out the dictionaries, helping with fair projects, road cleanup, etc. And, I grew up here in Lincoln County. I was brought down here when I was about a year old, and now I'm back here helping learn about my father's business, and definitely interested in contributing back to the community.
Wonderful. We're pleased to have you. Pleased to have you.
Thanks, John.
All right, and so on service projects and announcements, so does Sylvia or Amy, who wants to start off with that?
Amy, you can start.
Okie dokie. Mine are just about beach cleanups and litter pickups. So we've decided to do a beach cleanup. We're actually going to maybe be able to see a couple of us in person, whoever wants to join, August 8th. It's a low tide. I'm working with Solve to get this set up. So we'll have actually a private registration link that will go out to you guys so that we make sure we only have 10 folks in each spot. Hoping to do 3 locations. So we need a couple volunteers for beach captains, because in each of those locations, they will go over like safety guidelines and that kind of thing and get us started and coordinated. Rob has offered to be our garbage pickup driver. So he's gonna go to all the locations and pick up what we picked up. And if you're interested, I'd like you guys to go ahead, look for that link that's coming out, but also locate a bucket that you would like to pick it up with, because I would rather minimize the amount of plastic bags that we use for pickup if we can. And so if you can find an old Home Depot bucket or something like that, that would be great. And bring your kids, sign them up as well. So we're also working on a fill a bucket challenge. And so this will just be going on since there's been no beach cleanups since last fall, especially. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but there's a lot of litter in our community right now. And so we're just gonna do a fill a bucket challenge. So every time you go for a walk, you take a little bag or a bucket, fill it up, take a picture of yourself doing that, and hashtag fill a bucket, our Rotary Club. John Zagel is going to create a Instagram account for us. Woohoo! So we're going to try to get that launched and kind of do a social media campaign for our Newportians and tourists to clean up Newport. So.
Wonderful. I think that's really good. And I know I mentioned that weekend is actually the Oregon Coast Today is publishing an article, but they're doing the Great Garage Sale So there's a way to participate that, but that means there'll be a lot of extra visitors in town. So, you know, we can wrangle them, get extra help, get extra hands on the beach. I think that'd be a great way to get behind that. And some of those folks are likely the folks that shot off some of those fireworks there last weekend and decided to, you know, leave them piled up by the garbage can. So again, thank you, Thompson Sanitary and Amy, for heading that up. That's wonderful. All right, Sylvia, go ahead and give us your community service project article.
So far, we've done a great job this year in financially supporting different community service projects and groups. John, do you have that list?
Yep.
But I think everybody would really like to get out and physically do something, not just put money on a project, especially since a lot of people have their businesses having slowed down. So, you know, pledging money is not as good as actively getting out there and doing something. So in line with Amy's Fill a Bucket, I would challenge people, and these were board member approved projects for the most part. So if you do this weekend, you can get makeup credit too. But the challenge is 1 hour this weekend to go out to your favorite public spot. We'll call it the beach, bay, or highway, because it isn't necessarily just the beach. And improve a public area. Spend an hour or more, take your family or by yourself. I expanded as I was typing this, thinking maybe someplace just needs weeding instead of garbage pickup. Take a picture of the before and after. Send pictures to John Zagel and to Jim Graham as a CC if you want to get some makeup credit for that. As an FYI, a lot of you had a chance to clean out your garages and tidy up your house, and you've got stuff that you don't think you really need. There's 2 opportunities to find homes for that. The weekend of the 17th and 18th, Olala and the Children's Center up in Toledo are doing a yard sale. So if you contact Larry Adrian, they're doing setup the Friday before, and he might be able to arrange to get some items before. You can donate to the yard sale, or of course, go be a patron on those days. I've contacted Safe Families for Children. This is a fairly new nonprofit in the area. Some of you might not know anything about it. But what they basically do is they try and keep kids from going into foster care by having houses, families where people can have their kids go stay for a day or two when they need a break. You know, it's organized by the different churches, and there are vetted and tested households that have a spare bedroom or a spare bed, and they'll take people's kids for, you know, a day or two or maybe longer. Or if somebody's in the hospital and they're a single parent, this is a chance for their kids to stay someplace and, you know, they don't have relatives nearby. Great organization. I talked to Marissa. She is the coordinator. And she said she's got 2 moms right now that are moving into their own houses. They need basic items. Used is okay. And I'll get a list of that. I just noticed in my inbox, there was one about half an hour ago from her. And I'll have John send this list and some more details down the road. So that's for July. August, there is the bigger beach cleanup on the 8th with Amy's phone number there for you to contact her if you'd like to be a beach captain. We're bringing masks and gloves to that of your own. And an important side note is Amy had said that the sanitation services got statistics on COVID. Getting it from an object is not a real significant concern. And we're looking at stuff that's been sitting outside in the rain and the sun. Of course, if you've got a cup full of water, use your little grabber unit and dump that. Be cautious, use credit, but don't be afraid is what it kind of comes down to. Safe Families for Children also has boxes similar to the Foster Kids Go boxes, which are still on a back of my mind as a great activity to repeat. But they are looking for families who are in financial stress, who just need little items here and there. I'll get some details on that. I was thinking of a concentrated Rotary push to do those on the 24th. In September, there's a dictionary project still in the works. We'll come up with a way to distribute those. And Connie, welcome. My ears perked up when I heard that that's something you've done in the past. I also live in Waldport. Look for the opportunity to be drafted for that. And anyone else who's interested in helping with these projects, please contact me. One neat thing I've seen that some groups are doing as an opportunity for you to help your community is what they're just calling day brightener boxes. Looking at September at a time when kids normally go back to school. Maybe you know a single person in your neighborhood who might be lonely or neglected or just kind of feeling like no one's noticing them. These are just baskets with various items. I'll go into more details like that again later. This isn't the big expensive auction kind of basket. This is a nice note, a few things from the dollar store, a few comfort items basket. Then in October, I talked to Dee. She would like to have a planting project. She was talking about fruit trees. This isn't really a great time for fruit trees, but perhaps in the fall. And we're still looking at habitats, rhododendrons. I think we'll get more information on that. And rather than have us all just come down at one time, because of COVID restrictions, we're looking at one day, but people scheduling times for you and your family, or maybe you and a friend or a neighbor to come and plant a few roadies. You can bring your tools, or there will be some on site that you could use. So it's time to get off our bottoms or get out of our offices, as the case may be, and help out our communities on an individual basis, but as a group, we can do a lot. And so the first challenge this weekend, spend an hour or more and beautify a public spot. Any questions on those?
I have a question. I noticed on your agenda or the list of events coming up that you noted the Olala Center. Is it the Olala Treatment Center for Children or the Olala Golf Course, or which?
Oh, it's not the golf course. No, it is the Treatment Center for Children in Toledo. And we did a wonderful painting project there last year where we got together and we painted the hallways. I kind of like the bright sunny mustard yellow, but it's now a beautiful, peaceful sky blue. So yeah, that's kind of a nice ongoing project. And there are others. I've reached out, as you can see, to different groups to see what they need.
Oh, great.
And I would encourage people who have, perhaps you've got special skills or a passion to let me know, because when I passed around the index cards about, 6 months ago in the before time, I got 2 of them back with people suggesting projects. So perhaps you can see a need or have ideas now, but I'm looking at things people can do in a time of COVID, and you can do them individually or with a friend, smaller groups, and then we'll just do a photo montage to John to be able to show it's a Rotary project.
Now, do you permit outsiders to join you in these volunteer projects?
Oh, we encourage it. We don't just permit it. Yes, absolutely encourage.
Okay. I worked at the Olala Treatment Center as a child therapist when I first graduated from college. So
nice. Yeah.
I would like to be involved in that too.
Sylvia, this is Rob, and I just thought I would share, I did meet 2 different individuals at the Habitat house behind the pool. One was Mark from Habitat, the other was Ryan Bancroft from Ground Effects Landscaping. And so there is a tiny bit of movement forward on that, and I can share details with you another time. But our club has some fun opportunities to do hands-on. And you have a great list, and I'll share that with you. I'll share that with you later. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, another project that we can work on. So no more going stir crazy.
Excellent report. That kind of all that we just heard from Sylvia and Amy, that talks to community service, which is one of the avenues of Rotary, how to improve our community to which we live in. So great points. I know Keith has an announcement or a couple minutes he wants to talk, so we'll let Keith talk, and then we'll hear from Bob, and then we'll get Misty up next. So go ahead, Keith.
What I wanted to talk about is the challenge we received from the district a couple years ago, trying to identify a Rotary Friendship Exchange so that District 5110 could travel to the Caribbean from the 1st of November till the 1st of May for an exchange in the Caribbean. And while certainly there was a great interest in District 5110 going from Oregon to the Caribbean, as I traveled around and talked to the 4 clubs on St. Croix, you might say there was a bit of an opposite desire to come to the Oregon coast or the Oregon region of the United States. But I attended a meeting yesterday at Harborside in St. Croix, Christian said, and there's renewed interest in trying maybe a hybrid Rotary Friendship Exchange and doing a virtual exchange. And what the idea was, they came up with a theme of such an exchange being peace, and that being one of the Rotary goals. I thought that would be a great thing. And then what we thought we would do is be able to put together something that maybe involved a daily Zoom meeting between a club on St. Croix and our club, or a club in District 5110, for about 30 minutes, and have a topic and have people address the topic, and then allow some time for some interaction. So it's kind of an informal, virtual way of keeping the Rotary Friendship Exchange alive, doing it with a club that has an interest in us, and we, I think, have an interest in the Caribbean. But that was just something we came up with, and I thought I'd present that to the club and see if people would have an interest in doing something like that.
Me and Keith talked about this a little bit earlier, and I think that's a great way to navigate those Rotary exchanges. And we were trying to bring it up to the group here, see if anybody has ideas. If you've got input or would like to participate or help out in this, just circle back with Keith, and then potentially next week Cindy, as our district governor, will be visiting us virtually. We could bring it up there if we have time, or maybe she's already got a platform for that. So it would be interesting to hear about that. So thanks on that report, Keith. I think those are great ideas. Okay, without further ado, let's introduce Bob Wienert for our Sergeant in Arms.
Thank you very much. Connie Battles.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well.
You're going to get involved with your father's business, and your father's business is?
Well, he has a couple of businesses. He has, well, you know what my father does.
Yep.
My father has a relatively small stable in addition to some timberland and rentals.
I see, good. Well, would you give your dad my regards? He's a good man.
Yeah, we talked about you the other day.
Oh, well, let's not tell the others what we said.
It was good. It was all good.
Yeah. I want to tell so many members who tried to help me get Freddie on his inaugural day that I was able to get him, and I need your help. This job that I have now is extremely difficult, as I never see anybody. So if you have a little something on one of your friends, let me know about it. I'll never mention your name, Sandy. But it's great to see everybody. And anybody got any happy dollars?
I have a happy dollar. Some happy bucks.
Oh, okay.
I am $10 happy. We have distributed 625 food boxes from the Salvation Army because of everybody's help. So I'm $10 happy today.
Oh, good for you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Amy, I saw your hand was up.
Yes. Well, I had a birthday, Bob.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yeah. 45. So I would like to donate $45 to my Paul Harris.
Oh, thank you very much.
To be circling the earth for another year.
Oh, good. Good for you. Anybody else? Diane, you had your hand up.
Yes, I am going to turn 67 years young.
You have got to be kidding me.
No, sir.
You a day over 50.
Thank you. Thank you. And I would like to contribute $67 to my Paul Harris.
Wow. Oh, good. Well, thank you very much. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Anybody
Yes,
else?
I have happy dollars.
I have happy dollars.
Oh, okay, Mr. Wiener.
Yeah, my daughter, Charlotte, graduated from Montessori on Tuesday. So I was very happy about that. I'm $50 happy.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And
absolutely.
Yeah. As her grandfather, I am also $50 happy. So
wow.
What do you think of that? Sandy, you got to have something.
Yes.
You look too happy.
I am. I am $50 happy because we have a new addition that has 4 feet to the family. I have an 8-week-old golden retriever plus Siberian Husky mix.
Oh, I bet that's a beautiful dog.
It's going to be, yeah, it has the blue eyes. Well, it's a sleeper. I drag it in and show it to people. He's all fluffy, beautiful, and has the blue eyes of the Siberian Husky. Except he also has incredibly big feet, which I do think relates to an incredibly big dog, but I'm used to big dogs. So Dan's pretty happy. In fact, I can send a picture to John of Dan holding him. He can still sit in his lap, thank heavens.
Well,
Anyway,
good. Is
yeah.
it gonna be a retriever type dog, do you think?
I think so. I think it's more golden than it is husky. But
Oh.
I figure I can start a business, you know, if any snow, you know, find your way, and yet the husky part can do the sled to get people out. Yeah. So there's ways of using this dog.
Oh, you sound excited.
Yeah, it is.
And how excited are you, by the way?
Oh, I said I was $50.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm
Well,
really
now I'm excited too.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I have something.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I shared this or not, but, and this is hard to believe, my baby just turned 16.
Whoa.
Oh my. Oh my.
$16 happy, but I remember her coming to her first Rotary meeting when she was a week old.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How time flies. Well, we're glad that that you're $16 happy.
Thank you, Bob.
Anybody else?
Bob, I have something.
Okay, Ken.
Yeah, unfortunately, my son Cody had to spend some time in the hospital here, but
Uh-oh.
did a fantastic job, and I'd like to give $50 to Ursula's Paul Harris.
Yay. Well, thank you very much. Everything's okay?
Not yet, but we're praying that it will be.
Okay. Are we still in the hospital? Or?
Yeah, he's in Corvallis at the hospital, maybe going into surgery today.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Well, keep us updated on that if you would, Ken.
I will. Thank you.
And our prayers are with you. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll throw one out. I just want to mention Dean Sawyer. I want to do $10. And Dean Sawyer's been taking the heat for, you know, the water, for the litter, the COVID, the everything that you could imagine. He's been basically the front line, and I think we've got the right person in there. And again, he's been able to report real well, keep us up to date, and it sounds like the water issue is getting resolved with Tim Gross and his department there. But $10 happy about that getting what looks like to be complete or resolved or temporarily fixed, whatever it may be.
Well, way to go, Dean. Yeah. Well, good. I want to thank everybody for their generosity, and we'll look forward to it again next week.
All right, thanks, Bob. Great report. Good job. All right, now we'll introduce again Misty, and she will talk about whatever she wants to talk about. So she's got quite a palette of things to present. So go ahead, Misty.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So some of you know me from my job at the Oregon Coast Community College, and some of you know me from my private business, which is a webfoot marketing and design. And that business, which is what Richard introduced me at first about, I've had for over 10 years here in Lincoln County. And I started off that business specializing in nonprofit websites. And so I ended up building a whole bunch of the local nonprofits websites, and it's expanded, and now it's expanded and changed like a lot of businesses do. And now I really focus on a lot of really large websites. I've done the Oregon Coast Community College kind of as part of my job, but I've also worked on some big websites like the University of Maine. I finished just last year, I finished the Classic Community College, which is up in Astoria. And I worked on some stuff for ODOT, and the State Bar is one of the projects I'm working on right now. So I have a business that does a lot of government contracting type of website fixes. And I still work on nonprofits as often as possible to try to, and I use WordPress, and the reason I use that program is so that the nonprofit businesses that I work with are able to maintain the website themselves and make changes and updates, and because it's an easy program to use. And then that moves into the next thing is I teach at the Oregon Coast Community College. And that's probably where most of you know me from, have taken a class or been to one of my classes or heard about one of my classes, or in John's case, has actually taught at one of my classes. So yeah, I have John come as often as possible. He comes every year to my small business management class and talks about customer service, and I've really appreciated that. So at the Oregon Coast Community College, I run a small business management program, and that program runs, last year I had, now things changed with COVID because I had some people drop out because we went to Zoom only, and that was kind of challenging for some folks. But I started with 38 businesses that were established businesses in Lincoln County, and we run them through a rigorous program that covers everything from bookkeeping, human resources, tax accounting. We have a lawyer come in and talk about some legal issues. And that's for established businesses, and we've helped them. And then, and they go through that program. It's a 9-month program. And a lot of it is scholarship based. And that's one of the reasons I joined the Toledo Rotary, is because they sponsored 2 of our students last year as part of their vocational outreach. They sponsored 2 students in our small business management program, a construction company and a water well company that were in Toledo. So that was, but we try to do as many scholarships as possible to get folks into that program. A lot of those people come from the urban renewal money in Lincoln City, and in Walport has paid some urban renewal money. And then we've actually just had people donate into scholarships to make that an affordable program for business owners. So I do that. And then in addition to that, I teach a lot of social media classes, and a lot of people know me from, they'll call me and say my Facebook got hacked for their business or something like that. And I spent a great deal of time unhacking Facebook and getting people back online. I've done that twice this week for local nonprofits that have had some problems with their Facebook pages. So this quarter, or during the summertime, I'm going to be teaching some classes. One of the classes that is new that I've only taught one other time, which is super exciting, is I taught a YouTube class. So to get your YouTube channel up and going, and that's kind of been fun because there's a lot of people wanted to try to capitalize on what YouTube has to offer. So I've taught YouTube, I teach Facebook, Instagram. I'm also teaching a class coming up on hiring employees. Now you'd think that everybody's laying off right now, but there's a lot of challenges in hiring people and bringing people back in to your business after they've laid off, or there's some changes in some of the rules. And we talk about some of the regulations with Bureau of Labor, and because a lot of small businesses, they don't have a human resource person on staff. They have, they're a construction company. They know about construction. They don't necessarily know all the Bureau of Labor laws and rules and regulations, and OSHA and things like that. So we try to bring in those type of classes and educational opportunities for businesses to so that they can learn and follow the rules and hopefully avoid problems, which sometimes we get calls because they are having problems, which is one of the things we offer is free one-on-one advising. So I do have a little slideshow that Dave Price made for me, because since the COVID thing, we have been extremely busy in dealing with all these businesses that are struggling with the pandemic and the different loans and opportunities. So I'm going to share my screen here and show you my quick little, just some statistical data that I wanted to share. Can you guys see that? Let me see if I can make it go full screen here. Slideshow. Present from the beginning. There you go. So just some quick things. Since the COVID began to happen, our office just became inundated just, I mean, there was so many people that needed so much stuff. It was crazy. So 134 days, this was done a couple days ago, is since the county declared an emergency. So our office, this is what it looks like. So we offer free one-on-one advising, and we've had a whole bunch of people call in. We have 231 clients that we've seen for one-on-one advising in the first 6 months of the year, which is way higher than what we've done in the past years. We've also we have webinars to give people an opportunity to talk to us, ask us questions, and to be really involved with them. And we run every single Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. We have a free webinar. You can get online, and the link's on our website. You can go to this webinar, and every single Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock, we talk about, okay, this loan's available. This is how you get your PPP loan forgiven. This is what new grants coming available. We provide all this information every single week. And those are very well attended, and business owners can join in for free, and we are there to give them information. So that's kind of why our events has come up so high in the last, because we do that every week. We used to do it twice a week in the beginning, but we've slowed down to do it once a week now, just because things have changed. And of course, everything is online now, which is really a struggle. I'm really surprised of the number of businesses that really can't meet online. They don't have good internet service, or it's just kind of crazy. So anyway, the 231 are people that we've actually tracked through our logging into our system, but we've also just answered emails and just answered the phone and said, go here, go there. So we've done a good portion of that, kind of just connecting with people. So I keep hearing, well, money didn't come to the county, or money only went to big companies, or it only went to the metro area. And so this is what we have personally tracked, meaning that we have talked to a client, they've gotten funding, and we followed through the whole process with them. So those numbers that you're looking at on the screen there, over $3 million, is what we've helped with. Now there's more that we're aware of, but this is what we have personally assisted in businesses to the county. And this includes things like the payroll protection loans, EDL loans, grants, layoff aversion grants, county grants. So we have assisted a lot of businesses to stay alive and have funding. So, and of course, we don't give funding out. We've just assisted with applications and providing information. So that's a lot of money that's coming into the county, and that we've assisted in. And then, jobs, the unemployment rate is down, unemployment rate's down. Well, some of the services that we provide helps retain jobs. And, a business can get a PPP loan and they don't have to lay their employees off because they can afford to pay for payroll when they're struggling. And so we've personally clocked 136 jobs retained from the services that our office has provided. So I think I just wanted to share that with you. This is what I spend 95% of my time on now. We're working mostly remotely. Our office we're not seeing people in person, but we are reaching out every single day to help businesses. And I've been a very active part of that. So anyway, that is that. So does anybody have any questions or things they want to ask me about? Or yes, Diane? I don't have the unmute, so somebody else has to unmute them.
I can unmute myself. Thank you for your excellent presentation, Misty. I want to let everyone know that I attended one of your PPP presentations that was put on by the Small Business Administration, and it was excellent. As a practicing CPA, I need to know this stuff, and I really appreciate what you do. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey, Misty, I have a question.
Hi,
What's the situation with Oregon Coast Community College budget? Are you guys going to have a job this fall?
I just go to work every day, Guy. I mean, I can only hope. I'm with everybody else on the hope thing. I know that we have had some reductions, but you know, I think that as far as my office, with the amount of work that we're doing in our office, we're hoping that that some wonderful SBA person will help us, and we're still going to survive. But I really don't have an answer to that question. I do know that there is a lot of talk about, are we going to be able to do in-person classes? And I think I have been told so far that my small business management class will not be in person, that it will be a strictly online class. So that could pose a large challenge for some of my businesses that I'm even struggling with now, that have been in the program but don't do Zoom very well. So one of the things that I've done, and I just throw this out because it's one of my crazy ideas from one of my colleagues. So they actually recorded the class, stuck it on a flash drive, and mail it to the client, so that they can actually watch it in the comfort of their own home at whatever time. And then we call them up and say, hey, did you get your class? Do you have any questions? And we can meet with them that way. So I'm doing that. I did that with one of my YouTube classes that I did, is just record it and I'm flash driving it to people. So we're doing all kinds of innovative things to keep businesses connected.
Misty?
Yes.
Do you take individual clients for your WordPress web page setup?
Yes, I do. I do a lot of individual work with for people who want their website set up. I do that both for my private business, and then also occasionally, and I don't know how we would do it at this point in time, but occasionally we do teach a WordPress class at the college. So when we get back to live classes, we will probably go back to teaching the Build Your Own Website class, which I usually run 10 students through to help do it. So I do it both. I do it privately. I help people set up websites privately, and I also teach that and teach the maintenance of those at the college. So I do both.
Great, thanks.
And I prefer to work with nonprofits on that too. So if you know any nonprofits that need a website, I really like to do that. It's my thing.
Misty, what would you say is the next fad or trend in social media? Is it TikTok? Is that what I'm hearing, that's the latest thing that young people are doing?
Yeah, TikTok's really big, and it's surprising. The TikTok so kind of like Facebook and Instagram kind of work together and you know, are kind of a joint thing. Well, TikTok and YouTube are the things. So if you have a YouTube channel and you add TikTok, you're going to really increase your YouTube. So, and you know, people think that, oh, the younger people are using TikTok, and that's not really true. It's really surprising the older people that are using TikTok. So those of you who don't know, TikTok is a video type of social media with very short videos. And you can go down the TikTok suck trail where you get sucked into 3,000 kitty cat videos, if that's what your thing is.
Good to know. Good to know. And I know one of the things, when I was looking for a few tidbits to introduce you, you talked a little bit about an algorithm that may have changed with Facebook. Can you just touch on that just real quickly?
Yeah, you know, Facebook has made a lot of algorithm changes. So they've kind of, so a lot of folks, you know, back in the day, you just create a Facebook page and you posted a bunch of stuff and you figured that everybody would see what you posted. And really that doesn't happen. It's really engagement based. So when you go as a person and look at your Facebook and you see your news feed and you remember, oh gosh, I'm friends with John, but I haven't ever seen anything that John posted in a long time. Well, the reason is because you haven't interacted with John. You didn't comment on what John had to say. You didn't share John's content. You didn't interact with him. You weren't besties. So what happens is businesses think, well, I just post stuff and everybody sees it. I post stuff and everybody sees it. They don't. If those people that you post content to don't comment on your stuff that you posted, they have a less likelihood of seeing what you posted another time. So an example of that, a long time ago, my son was in Special Olympics, and he threw the ball and, you know, it was a great event. Okay. So I ran out and I loved, and I liked, and I commented on Special Olympics Oregon. My son's 25 and he doesn't play Special Olympics Oregon anymore. I like their page and they post all the time, but in my newsfeed, I have not seen one solitary thing from Special Olympics Oregon in years. And it's because I don't interact with them. So just because you post something on Facebook doesn't mean people are going to see it. And so you need to think about what it is you post and how that's going to create engagement with the people who see it.
Interesting. Thanks for that quick summary of what that looks like. Well, any other questions?
It's hard to do that.
I was just going to say that we use WordPress for our business. I think we've been using it about 5 or 6 years, and it is awesome. You can you can change a bunch of stuff about your website, make it current, and it doesn't take very long. I think it's the best one I've seen, way better than what we used to have. So.
Yeah, I have to say, one of the things that a lot of folks maybe don't realize when they go out, say, oh, I'm going to go build a website, and they look at all the different choices. What you really need to look at, and I think you kind of touched on this, is the grow up plan. So let's say that you make something that looks really great, but then next year you decide you want to sell something on your website, or you want to do a scheduling program. You either have to pay up with a lot of programs, or you can't do that. And with WordPress, there's what I call the free grow up plan. You can have a whole entire shopping cart with 10,000 products, and it's not going to cost you one dime more than what your hosting is today. And you can start a scheduling program. Or I just helped somebody just 2 days ago down in Florida. She wanted to do a subscriptions. She wanted to sell a monthly subscription to an app, and she didn't know how to make it, people could pay for that. And there's a free app that she loaded onto her WordPress and doesn't cost her anything. So it's a great program, very robust.
Interesting, that's great. Well, I would like to say that we've had, I think, a great program. Thank you, Misty, for sharing that with us. In our fashion, what we do for visiting programs is we vaccinate 50 children against polio. So we're going to do that in your name. So thank you again for presenting with us, and again, I look forward to maybe some member engagement or somebody following up with you, and especially knowing now you're a fellow Rotarian and you kind of fight the same fight. So again, thank you for that. We need to have what I would like to do is some way to poke Jim Wendell. So it looks like he's a lack of sleep there. Oh, there he's awake. Okay, good. Well, any other announcements before we call for a secretary report?
Well, I want to say one more thing. I was unpacking some stuff and I found my Paul Harris plaque.
Oh.
So I'm going to bring it in my office.
Good job. Excellent. Excellent. Good to know that. Good to know. Well, I don't see Jim today. So is somebody else filling in on secretary for Jim?
Yes, I'm the secretary pro tem.
Okay.
And Freddie and Jim have properly christened me with some water with a squirt gun from a distance. So I'm in good shape.
Excellent.
So today we had 34 members and 2 guests. That makes 49.27% attendance today. The 50-50 is $60. And the spin of the wheel came up with Lola Jones. And Lola is not here today, so I guess that rolls into next week, eh?
That was was that the membership incentive? I think
nope,
you said
that was the 50. That was the
membership incentive.
That was the 50-50.
How could she earn it? How could she get 50-50 if she wasn't here?
That's the ticket.
Oh, it has to be the numbers that. Stand by for that. We'll move along. I used all the numbers, not realizing just use the ones that paid. So even though they christened me, they didn't train me. So I'll go back and figure out which one of us that contributed, which one of us won. And And then for the membership incentive, I did spin the wheel, and I think that's the spin the wheel for all the members. And Ursula is the winner of the member incentive.
Yay.
So, John, if you want to do your media while I figure out how to get this 50-50 done, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Keith. Just a couple things. Our app is down. Our official Rotary app has been shut down by Group Ahead. And so we're without an app right now. And I'm building a new app right now. I'm just not happy with it yet. So I don't want to go live until it's well done. So I am working on that. Just so you know, we are on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel. And tonight I'm going to start Instagram. So I'll get that word out. I'm also very impressed. We had 34 participants on July 9th in the middle of the summer. What an incredible Rotary Club that in the middle of summer, we have 34 people on this. So good job, Rotarians. And today's winner for the social media is Laura Kimberly.
Yay.
Hey, way to go, Laura.
So I'm back, Richard. I spun it and found somebody.
Oh, good.
Doc Wendell, do you want to repose like that so I can wake you up and tell you that you won the 50-50?
Good for me. That woke me up.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Good.
Next.
Is that in the mail?
And it was the 50-50 was $60, so you won 50 or $30 today.
Good. Is it in the mail?
Mr. Miranda, do you want to send him a check?
Never mind.
Check's in the mail.
Okay. Any other last minute announcements? Well, I want to make one real quick. We're transitioning, myself and John are transitioning the program outline, which we have a Google Doc that we're sharing. We talked about it at the board meeting that we're going to try and make it a little bit more public, a little bit more viewable. So we'll be in the process of that, but we're transitioning to the member-driven program. So what that means is, we're going to assign folks and, plot them out through the year, sprinkling them in a few each month, and then knowing that we already have some built in with students of the month. We had been doing, of course, holidays are blotted out and vocational will be in there. So we're going to put you in there. So it may come up that you're on deck and, you're going to kind of be accountable. So we want to make sure that you're either volunteering and aware of the date, or if your name's coming up, try to share with, other members, try to share and let them know, give them a heads up so they can kind of coordinate, a program or something or particular, something that you're interested in, or if you're growing Yakun or, whatever it is that you do for your, your enjoyment or your hobby or your vocation. So again, that's in the process. We'll be shifting to that very shortly. Next week's program, we're going to have our district governor, Cindy. She'll be visiting our club, and I imagine we'll hear a little bit about what the district's doing, about her, touring around, our service projects. I think she was going to try to visit those. And again, they talked a little bit about those opportunities that we've got coming up, the beach cleanup, Habitat House, the Olala Center. So some of those things, and Safe Families for Children, those types of things. So definitely get involved. That's, again, community service. That's one of our avenues of service. Club service right here, we're promoting, trying to create a good meeting, have a successful meeting. And we don't have, I'll mention, we don't have our current president or our past president here. I think that's, again, without fail. We've got, a wonderful PR person with John Zagel here facilitating this. We've got great content, a lot of member participation. And again, hats off. Summer time, especially just off of a holiday week, I think that was very good. So again,
I'm here.
Oh, Julie.
I've been here the whole time.
I was throwing you under the bus. I didn't see it. Where's your camera?
I'm taking a break from the video.
Okay, sorry about that.
Richard,
you tuned it. Yes.
Richard, are we online to get a inbound student this year?
We are not. I know that we had a report about that because of COVID. So I think Freddie was talking about that, but who else is the student exchange chair? Amy.
Yeah, they have halted all of Rotary International Exchange this year, and the first time in history. So what they're doing is, as many students who want to are deferring to next year. And I haven't heard for sure if our student for sure is going to be doing that. I'm not sure when the deadline is for that. So we'll find out.
Do we have a special fund where we give some funds to those students, either they're coming in or going out? Do we have a line item in the budget for that?
We do have for the students going out. I know that we've got that Connie Gates fund in there.
Okay, we'll take the $30 that I won and put it in that fund.
Got it.
Yeah, that will, we're gonna need, we're sponsoring the ones for the following year for the, we have 3 short-term exchange and long-term exchange, and hopefully that's gonna still happen. And so, yeah, that'd be great.
Thanks, Jim, for that. Thanks, Amy, for the report. Any other last-minute announcements?
I just have an informal one, and I sent a text, and I don't know if they'll catch it. John, Marcia, and Julie, can you hang around for a little bit after the meeting for just a short one regarding our foundation?
Yep.
Sure.
All right, so then we're looking for somebody to take us out with the 4-way test. And again, let's try just one individual. So if you've got it or can pull it up real quickly, if we can get a volunteer, and again, we'll just do that and we'll listen in, so it might be a little better cadence there. Any volunteers?
I'll do it.
Marcia, go right ahead, Your Honor.
But I'm a competitive soul, so I'm going to just do this by memory. And if I botch it, I don't want Wienert finding me. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Is it beneficial to all concerned? And is it fun?
Yay.
Yay.
All right. Thank you, guys. Great week. See you next week. And again, get involved in all the community projects we talked about. See you later.